Maybe you'll get past the word Bullpup. Maybe you'll be impressed with 11 innovations, like our patented downward shell ejection. But one thing is for sure. In the 1/1,000,000th of a second it takes for innovation to ignite performance, it'll make you a believer.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Desert Tech. Today we are going to continue the conversation about the MDRX. Specifically, we're going to talk today about this little guy, the Micron conversion kit for the MDRX. We've had lots of questions on this, and today we are going to talk about one of those questions, which is about effective range.
Micron home yard group.
The 11.5-inch barrel in this rifle, there's a lot of people wondering how effective it can be at anything beyond CQB or defense type shooting situations. So we decided to stretch it out a little bit and engage a few targets at some distance and see how it does. Some of you may have seen the video from Iraq Veteran about the Micron.
All right, 250. I mean, that's a 3-shot group down there that's literally like the size of my fist.
And in that video, you could see they got some pretty exceptional accuracy out of the rifle with this short barrel.
Most of the bullpups we shot have been around the 2 to 3 MOA mark, but the Desert Tech really stands out in that line just because of their inherent accuracy potential.
Typical accuracy from this rifle is in the 1 to 2 MOA ballpark, but you can get better, as we saw obviously in that video. In our test, the rifle shot right around the average, about 1 MOA. For our testing purposes, we were able to engage all the targets we were shooting at, and we were even able to get a bunch of consecutive hits at some pretty good distances for a rifle of this size.
I'll take that.
We started by getting some baseline accuracy, shooting some 100-yard groups and seeing how the rifle performed, and then we started stretching it out. We engaged some steel targets all the way up to 450, 500 yards, I believe it was, and the rifle was doing quite well. We switched over to some ballistic gelatin to see what kind of penetration we could get at those same ranges. And it wasn't until we got all the way back to 500 yards from that ballistic gelatin that it actually started stopping the bullets in the gelatin. And even then it was making a full 17 inches or so through the ballistic gelatin. And keep in mind, the whole time we were shooting this test, we were shooting 55 grain FMJ, you know, your typical blasting ammo basically. So you can imagine that if you stepped up to like a 62 or a 77 grain, you're going to get even better performance. We also shot a couple of this rifle's closest competitors to see how they all stack up. The Micron's longer barrel gave it an edge in velocity, which kind of translated into more consistency at those further ranges, which is obviously a benefit. So as you can see, the 11.5-inch barrel of the Micron conversion kit in the MDRX is still quite capable for engaging targets out to some fairly significant distances, at least for minute of dude. The bullpup configuration of the MDRX allows you to use a slightly longer barrel than your typical SBR, and that way you can still retain that very small package and have a little bit more energy downrange.